Hey there, I'm Jonny May from Piano with Jonny, and today you're going to learn how to play Silent Night in a New Orleans blues rumba style. This is a really fun style to play. Check out what you're going to learn in this lesson. Alright, so you're going to learn a lot of really great stuff in this lesson. We're going to start off with the New Orleans blues rumba exercise, and this is where I'm going to teach you how to harmonize each note of the scale, of the C major scale, because if you can harmonize each note of the scale in this particular style, then you can play any song that's in the key of C major, right? And so you're going to basically have these tools at the very beginning of the lesson. And this exercise, I'll just play a little bit of it for you. Okay. After we do the exercise, we're going to look at the lead sheet for Silent Night, which is the melody and the chords, and we're going to talk about how to apply this style to Silent Night. What to do with the left hand, what to do with the right hand. We're going to be harmonizing this melody in some really cool ways using blue notes. We're going to talk about how to reharmonize certain chords, certain basic major chords like a C major and transforming it into a C6, also using diminished 7th chords, talking about how to slide notes, which notes to slide. We're going to put the whole tune together, and then we're going to come up with an intro and an outro. I'm going to show you how I like to create an introduction and then how to end the song. And once we've put the whole thing together, I'm going to show you some additional effects, things like blues rolls. And in blues, we have these rolls that make it sound really cool. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to play these rolls. There's a couple ways of playing it. There's a simple way and a more advanced way. I'm going to show you both. And then at the very end, we're going to talk about soloing. And how do you solo over a song like this? How do you jam out and just play from your heart? And so I'm going to show you the 3 scales that I love to use when I'm soloing. I'm going to demonstrate how I like to solo, and then I'm going to break it down and show you some very basic tools that you can use to create your own solos. So there's a lot of stuff you're going to learn in this lesson, and this is an intermediate advanced level lesson. So if you're a beginner intermediate level, I actually have a beginner intermediate course on Silent Night, how to play it in a New Orleans blues rumba style. So be sure to check that out. Now in this preview course, I'm going to teach you a portion of the lesson, and if you want the full-length lesson, you can find it at pianowithjonny.com. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, you are rocking and you are rolling, and now you know how to play the New Orleans rumba style, and we're going to talk about the next step. And this, by the way, is the way I think when I arrange. When I sit down and I look at a tune I've never arranged, I'm walking you through my arrangement process, okay? And one of the first things I do is I look at a lead sheet, and basically a lead sheet displays the melody and the chords, and these are the 2 most essential elements of the song. This is all you really need to arrange a song, is the melody and the chords. We call this a lead sheet style, and if you opened up a jazz fake book, you'd see all of these lead sheets. And this is the way that jazz musicians like to read music, is they don't want to see all of the notation that a classical musician would want to see. They don't want to see the treble and the bass staff with all the harmonies written out. They just want to know the chord and the melody, and then they will sit down and they will create those elements. And that's what we're doing, is we're approaching this as a jazz musician would approach songs. In fact, most of our lessons here at Piano with Jonny are this very approach. It's saying, hey, what can you add to these basic elements to make it fun and exciting? So in this lesson, we're doing the New Orleans style, but you can basically do this for all the styles. Okay, so let's look at this lead sheet. And this is a standard lead sheet format. And you'll notice we have the chord above the melody. We've got this single melody line. This is a treble staff, so there's no bass staff. There's nothing indicating what to play in the left hand, but you already know what to play in the left hand. We just talked about that. I just taught you the rumba groove, so we're going to be using that. But let's go ahead and learn this melody. Very, very important. Okay, so I'll walk you through the right hand first, and many of you guys will be able to play this melody by ear. In fact, if you can already play it by ear, you can skip this whole section, go to the next section. But if you're not really familiar with the melody of Silent Night, I'm going to teach you that right now. The first thing you'll notice is this is in 3/4. That means 3 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The accent is on beat 1. That's what defines a 3/4 time signature. Or many of you may have heard the term a waltz. A waltz is in usually 3 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. So this is a very slow kind of waltz feel. Silent night, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is your waltz. Okay. So let's go over this melody. G, starting note. A, G, E. Very simple. Okay. That repeats. G, A, G, E. Beautiful melody. Very simple melody. Simple is beautiful. Keep that in mind. You don't always have to play complex melodies for it to be beautiful and memorable. Okay, we jump up to the D. Let's use pinkie here. D, D, B, C, C, G. Okay, very, very simple. Let's keep going. We go to an A, C, B, A. You can swing that or you can play it straight. In the sheet music I have bum, bum, bum. Okay. Next part, bum, 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 bum. That's G, A, G, E. Okay, very simple. Next part is the same thing. We basically repeat the last 4 bars, right? Here it is. Bum, 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 bum. Very, very simple, very beautiful. Let's go up to our D. Let's use the 3rd finger on the D. That leaves our pinky open for the F. Here it is. D, bum, 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 bum. Okay, that's D, D, F, D, B, C, and then up to the E. Okay, doing a great job. Let's keep it going. C, G, E. See that? C, G, E. And let's go pinky. G, F, D, C. Okay, very simple, beautiful Christmas melody. One that virtually everyone knows. I mean, it's a classic. Okay, except we're going to do some fun stuff with it. We're going to make it, do it all New Orleans style, or New Orleans. I don't know how you like to say it. We have different ways of saying that. All right, let's do the walk through the melody again. Here it is. And this time we'll do it in time. Ready, play. Silent night, 2, 3, holy night. And up to the D, here it is. All is calm, 2, 3. All is bright, 2, 3. Round yonder Virgin Mother. And sing along, man. Singing is great. Holy infant, so tender and mild. 2, 3. Sleep is a little high in heavenly peace. 2, 3. Right? Sleep in. You can do that straight or sleep in heavenly peace. Different ways of doing it. Okay? That's your basic melody. And then the chords are fairly simple, guys. As I mentioned earlier, in most music, most Western music, you're going to use primary chords. That's your 1 chord, your 4 chord, and your 5 chord. C. In the key of C, we're in the key of C major. That's the 1 chord. The F is the 4 chord, and the G is the 5 chord, okay? Many of you probably know this, all right? So let's just work through these chords. C major triad on the first one. It's just a straight C major. Then we go to a G7. G, B, D, and F are your notes. That's a C chord, and the C7. We're just following the lead sheet here, okay? F major. That's the C chord. We're going to go back to the F. Here it is. Very simple. G7, we'll take it down. 2, 3, 2, 3. G7, C. Okay. Really important to be able to play it this way. If you can't play it this way, you're not really ready for the next few steps, okay? You really need to be able to play your melody, single notes, left hand root position chords like I just played, and then memorize it, right? You really need to have this memorized to where you can close your eyes or look away, whatever, and you can play it without having to look at the sheet music. So great job, and we're going to move on to the next part, which is the left hand. Okay, you're doing an awesome job. I'm so excited to teach you how to take the left hand groove. We call this a rumba groove, which comes from Latin music. But how do you take this rumba groove and apply it to the chord progression from Silent Night? Well, we have a bit of a problem here. If you recall, the rumba groove is in a 4/4 time signature, right? Meaning there are 4 beats per measure. That's what you learned up here. But then when we get down to Silent Night, the song is a waltz. It's got 3 beats per measure. Well, how are you going to do this, right? Well, you're going to have to convert it. You're going to have to take all these measures of Silent Night where each chord only lasts 3 beats, and we're going to have to convert it. We're going to make it to where each chord now lasts 4 beats. This is very common in arranging where you alter the time signature, and you can do this either direction. You can take a waltz and you can put it into 4 beats, or you could take something that's 4 beats and you could put it into a waltz style, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this left hand pattern. And what we're going to do is we're going to play, like I said, 4 measures here of C, but we're going to do it over the 4/4 time signature, so 4 beats per measure, okay? So here we go. We're going to play the same bass line that you already learned, which goes like this. Right? So that's 2 measures right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Then we're going to go 3, 4. Okay? So we have 4 measures at the beginning of Silent Night. Then we have 2 measures of G7. You see that one right here? So here we go. We're going to go to a G chord in the bass. See that? Okay? So 2 measures of G, then 2 measures of C. Okay, so that's the form of the first 8 measures, and I would just recommend that you memorize that, okay? Try to memorize this chord structure. 4 measures of C, 2 measures of G, 2 measures of C. Okay, let's keep going. Now we're on the F. Let's take it down here. We have 2 measures of F, okay? Here it is. Then 2 measures of C. Then the same thing, F, to C. Good. Now we're going to go to a G7. Here it is. And then back to C. Great. And then the last 4 measures, we're still on a C. Then we have G. And then C. Alright, so it's not too hard to play, okay? Let's go ahead and work through the full form of this song now. You should have the left hand, for the most part, down, and we're going to play it this time about medium slow tempo together. Go ahead and play along with me. And I'm going to call out the chords, and just think, you know, if I say it's an F chord, that just means your root is an F, right? If I say it's a G chord, your root is a G, okay? Here it is. A 1, 2, here we go. C. 2, 3, 4, and our G7, 2, and C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And our F. C. And F. C. You're doing a good job. Here it is. Our G7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And stop. Okay? So that is the left hand. Make sure you have the left hand down nice and solid. You want it to be memorized, because next we're going to be talking about the right hand, and it's really important that we're building layers, right? We're building this bass line, and then we're going to add a right hand melody, and then we're going to harmonize that melody. And so it's really important that each of these lower layers gets memorized, and you get really comfortable with it, okay? Because then it frees up your mind, your sort of mental real estate to think about other things, okay? So memorize that, and then we're going to be moving on to the right hand. Okay, you're doing a great job. You've learned a lot so far. We've talked about this rumba groove. We've talked about the lead sheet, how to interpret the melody and the chords, and then how to take the chords and apply this rumba groove, right? And how to put it in 4/4 time. And the next thing we want to do is add the melody, and this is the way I think as an arranger. Okay, I've got the left hand down. Now I've got to somehow incorporate the melody. And once again, we have another challenge, which is, the melody is written for a time signature that has 3 beats in it, and we're modifying it so it'll fit in measures that have 4 beats in it. So how do we deal with this? Well, we're going to sort of modify the melody to it, and in the process we're also going to add some notes to it to give it some color and some shape and some groove, okay? So here we go. We're going to work through the first little line, and right now the melody is very simple, right? It's silent night, right? Well, how do we kind of make that groove, right? 1, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I slightly alter this melody to go like this. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, now does that groove look a little bit familiar to you? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's go back to our New Orleans rumba groove exercise, okay? That looks a lot like this rumba groove exercise. So as you can see, we're applying this rhythm from the rumba groove exercise to the melody as much as we possibly can. And so that's really what's happening. But bum 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 ba bum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, okay? So that's how this sort of this rhythm works, okay? So the notes here are C, G, A, G, okay? C, E, D sharp, E. Once more. Bum 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 bum. Pretty simple, okay? Now the rhythm is like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. You see how that works? It's a pretty cool little rhythm, okay? So you really want to get comfortable with that. Let's do it once more, medium slow. Here it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we're going to see this rhythm throughout this piece, okay? So that's going to repeat itself. We are here at measure 65 in the lesson sheet. And then we have the same thing here, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, now it changes a little bit here. Bum, 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 bum. We're going to change it the second time around. So it's going to go C, E, C, D sharp, E. You see how that works? All right, so let's do this 4-measure phrase here. We're going to start from the top. Here it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So it just changes just a little bit there. We're just kind of having a little bit of fun with the melody. It's nice to sort of change it up from time to time. Okay, next part. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you want the full-length course, you can find it at pianowithjonny.com. Also, if you enjoyed this lesson, we have many other lessons where I teach how to play blues. We have the Bible of Blues Riffs, which is 120 blues riffs for piano, and rock and blues bass lines, where I teach you a bunch of different really fun bass lines. We also create courses for many other styles, so boogie woogie and jazz and swing music and ragtime, so be sure to check out those courses. We also have a huge selection of sheet music on the website. And if you become a member at Piano with Jonny, you get access to all of the video piano lessons and a huge selection of sheet music. Also, as a member, you get to interact with me every single month. We do a live Q&A where you can ask me any of your practice questions, and we do live workshops where I teach you a live lesson. You can interact live with me, and then we have a wonderful community of piano players who are here helping and supporting and giving feedback to each other. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great community. This was a lot of fun, and thanks so much for watching. You can check out the beginner intermediate lesson of this course. We have one of those as well, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care.